I joked about his tiny thing at girls' night, but he somehow found out, and then... Hello, Reddit. First of all, before you all come at me with pitchforks, just know that I was not trying to be mean. I swear, it was never my intention to be cruel, disrespectful, or humiliating in any way. It was just supposed to be a harmless joke, a private joke, a one-time joke. But apparently, the universe had other plans because somehow, the shit has hit the fan in the worst way possible. And now? Now I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix things. I don't even know if I can fix things. I've been trying to make my husband understand that it wasn't meant to be malicious, that I wasn't trying to be rude or condescending or anything like that. I've been trying so hard to explain, to get him to see that I never meant for any of this to spiral out of control, but he just isn't getting it. Or maybe he just doesn't want to get it. I don't know. All I know is that he's hurt. Really hurt. And I don't know how to undo that. I'm hoping that by posting here, I'll get some kind of advice, useful advice, on how to proceed. Because right now, I feel like I'm drowning, and no matter what I say, it's not making anything better. So, before you judge me too hard, let me rewind a bit and give you some context. My husband, let's call him Jake, and I have been married for about 3 years now. We met in college and got married shortly after graduation. Jake is my best friend, my partner, the person I feel the most safe with. He's the one person in this world that I've always been able to count on, no matter what. Our relationship has never been perfect, but whose is? Now here's where things get a bit tricky. Jake has always been a little insecure about his size, his situation. And when I say situation, I know exactly what you're all thinking. Yes, that situation. His size. It's something he's never been fully comfortable talking about. Something that, despite my reassurance, has always been a bit of a sore spot for him. But honestly, I never cared. Seriously. I really, really didn't. Because despite everything, our intimacy was still good. More than good. It was great. And outside of the bedroom, he was an amazing husband. He treated me well, made me laugh, supported me, the kind of man who would bring me my favorite snacks when I was having a bad day, who would hype me up when I doubted myself. He was genuinely the sweetest guy I had ever met. Now, here's where I really fucked up. I have a couple of friends that I've been super close to since high school, and they've always been quite condescending and hypocritical. And look, I already know what you're thinking. If I knew they were hypocritical and condescending, then why the hell did I stay friends with them? And honestly, it just never really bothered me before. It never affected me in a way that made me feel like I needed to cut them off. They were good to me. We were close. They never treated me that way, so I guess in some weird, kind of shitty way, it wasn't my problem. And then there's my best friend. Let's call her Mia. Now, Mia has never been the biggest fan of Jake. She's never outright hated him, never called him names to his face, never done anything obvious enough for me to actually call her out on it. But she's always had this subtle judgment. You know the type. The kind of person who doesn't say anything rude in front of them, but you can feel it. The quiet little glances, the way she sighs when his name comes up, the passive-aggressive little remarks disguised as jokes. And when it was just us, when we were alone, oh, she had plenty to say about him. Always something slightly condescending. Always pointing out something wrong with him. You really settled fast, huh? Are you sure you're happy? I don't know, babe. I just feel like you could have done better. But here's the thing. Jake has never been anything but cordial with Mia. He's been nothing but respectful. He's never once started drama, never given her an actual reason to dislike him. And yet Mia, she just never warmed up to him. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. If I knew she had this weird judgment toward him, why did I let it slide? And look, I don't know. Maybe because it never felt serious enough. Maybe because I thought it was just Mia being Mia. Maybe because I thought she'd eventually grow out of it. But then, girls' night happened. Now, before I go any further, let me just say, we had a few drinks. Okay, fine. More than a few. It was one of those nights where the wine was flowing, the music was good, and we were all feeling real loose. You know how it goes. One drink turns into two, two turns into way too many, and suddenly, everyone's laughing just a little too loud, talking just a little too openly. And somehow, the conversation took a turn. Straight into bedroom experiences. You know the drill. One person shares something spicy, someone else shares something embarrassing, someone admits to trying something wild that totally backfired, and before you know it, it's an all-out oversharing fest. Secrets that should probably stay behind closed doors suddenly become everyone's business. And that's when I really fucking blew it. Then, one of my friends started joking about how her ex was all talk, but had nothing to back it up. You know the type. The guy who hypes himself up, makes all these bold claims, and then when it actually matters, it's a complete letdown. We laughed. Hard. Because come on, we've all heard a guy like that talk a big game before. It was funny. It was harmless. But then Mia turned to me, and that's when the universe decided to hand me the shovel I would use to dig my own grave. Mia started asking about Jake and if he was that kind of guy. And instead of shutting the conversation down like a mature, responsible wife, like a decent fucking human being with common sense, I, being the absolute dumbass that I am, laughed. I laughed, and went with it. I made a joke about how it wasn't exactly his best feature. Why the fuck did I say that? I don't know. Blame the tequila. Blame my stupid need to be funny. Blame the fact that my mouth has always been way too fast for my brain to catch up. Blame the alcohol-fueled idiocy that makes you forget that some things should not be shared, even in a room full of your closest friends. But I said it. And because I apparently hate myself, I didn't just stop at one comment. No. I made a couple more jokes. Little offhand remarks, nothing cruel, just stupid. Things like, let's just say Jake makes up for it in other ways. Or, you know what? It's not about size. It's about technique. And my friends? Oh, they lost their minds. They laughed so hard that one of them literally choked on her wine. There were tears from laughing. It was a whole thing. And in that moment, I thought, no big deal. It's just us girls. It's not like anyone else is going to know. But oh boy, was I wrong? I still don't know who snitched. Maybe one of my friends went home and spilled to her boyfriend, who then told another guy, who then told another guy, and somehow, in the way that only gossip and bad decisions can, the word spread like a damn wildfire. Or maybe, just maybe, one of the girls themselves told Jake. Maybe someone thought it would be hilarious to stir the pot. Maybe someone wanted to test our relationship. Or maybe, just maybe, karma just fucking hates me. Because when I woke up the next morning, all warm and cozy, completely oblivious to the absolute shitstorm I had just set in motion, Jake was very, very short with me. He was very, very cold, like ice age levels of cold. And at first, I was confused. I had a bit of a hangover, I was groggy, and the last thing on my mind was, hey, remember when I publicly humiliated my husband last night? So I just figured, maybe work is stressing him out. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe it was one of those days. So I brushed it off. I genuinely thought, he'll settle down soon. He'll be fine. But then he came home from work later in the evening, and he was still cold. Not just a little distant, not just tired from work cold. No. This was different. The look on his face? I swear, I've never seen someone look so pissed and so hurt at the same time. It was like he had been stabbed in the back but was trying to hold it together just enough to not completely explode. And that was when he finally sat me down. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't throwing shit. He wasn't even giving me the silent treatment. No. He was calm. And if any of you have ever been in a relationship, especially a marriage, you know that calm? Calm is the fucking worst. I would rather he yelled. I would rather he cussed me out. I would rather he threw a damn chair, because at least then I would know where his head was at. But this quiet calm, this was lethal. He sat down, exhaled deeply, and just looked at me. And then, in the most even tone, he said, "So this is what you do when I'm not around? Make fun of me?" And right then, right fucking, then I knew. I knew exactly what he was talking about. My stomach dropped. My heart raced. I felt sick. I panicked. I scrambled. I tried to explain. I tried to tell him that it was just a joke, that I didn't mean anything by it. I tried to tell him that I never thought it would actually get back to him, but the more I talked, the worse it sounded. I tried to say that I had never actually complained about him in bed, but he just shook his head. He told me that he needed space, and then he packed a bag and left. Just like that. For the next few days, I tried to give him time. I tried to give him space. I texted. A lot. I called. But I tried not to overwhelm him. He didn't pick up. Most of the time, he didn't even reply. No good morning texts, no calls, no nothing. It was like he had just shut down on me completely. And that's when it really started to sink in. This wasn't just a fight. This wasn't just some petty disagreement that would blow over in a few days. This was serious. And I don't know what to do. I still don't know who told him. I still don't know how the fuck it even got to him in the first place. And worst of all, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what to do. Please, Reddit, I would really, really appreciate any advice right now, because I think I just ruined the best thing I ever had. Update. Hey, Reddit. First of all, I just want to say, when I made the original post, I wasn't expecting this kind of feedback. Hell, I don't even think I wanted it. I just needed to get everything off my chest, you know? And yeah, I expected negative comments. I knew I fucked up. I wasn't trying to justify it then, and I'm not trying to justify it now. Sure, yes, it was a joke, but I get it now. It was a cruel joke. And the engagement on that post? Way more than I ever expected. The comments? Oh, they were not nice to me. But again, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to say, oh, but it was just a joke. Because I get it. I really do. It doesn't matter if it was just a joke. It was hurtful. And it cost me something that I might never be able to get back. And I wish, God, I wish, that the helpful advice I got here would be enough to save my marriage. But it won't. Because it turns out, I won't be saving my marriage. Here's what happened. My husband finally came back home, and when I saw him, I thought, okay, finally, we're going to talk. Maybe, just maybe, we can fix this. But oh, I was so fucking wrong. He came home and just moved his stuff to the guest bedroom. I was confused as hell. Like, what are you doing? And that's when he told me that this was his house, he wasn't leaving, and that I need to figure out where to go. He also said he'd give me time. I swear, I could not process what he was saying. Like, where am I going? We're married. This is our home. What the hell was he talking about? And that's when he told me he wasn't angry anymore. He was just done. And that was when I started to understand that this wasn't just a fight that would blow over. This wasn't something an apology could fix. This was a deal breaker for him. I begged. I pleaded. I threw out everything I could think of. Couples counseling, therapy for me, therapy for him, literally anything. I told him I loved him, that I would do anything to fix this, but he just shook his head. He said that he just couldn't anymore, that he thought he could be vulnerable with me, but he ended up being the punchline of some fucking joke at girls' night, and that this wasn't the first time I'd made a joke about his size. That shut me up because, yeah, he was right. I had joked about it before, not in a mean-spirited way, not to hurt him, but just in a casual, playful way, because to me it was just that, a joke. And that was it. That was the end. I've been crying for days. Because of one stupid fucking joke, I'm about to lose the only man I've ever loved. It hurts. It fucking stings. I've called in sick to work more times than I can count. I can't eat. I can't sleep. My eyes are permanently swollen from crying. I feel physically sick. He's sleeping in the guest room. He barely looks at me. And every day I feel like I'm this close to losing him forever. I don't even know what to do anymore. I love him so much. This is the man I thought I'd grow old with. The man I planned my future with. And now, I don't even know if we have a future. I just don't know what to do. Update. Hello, Reddit. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm updating again at this point. Maybe because if I don't let this out somewhere, I feel like I'm going to lose my shit. At least here, I can just type everything out, get it off my chest, and pretend like the negative comments don't exist. Unlike real life, where every single fucking person I know is making sure I never forget how badly I fucked up. So, yeah. First things first. I moved out of my husband's house. And God, I have to tell you, that was one of the most painful things I've ever had to do. Packing up my shit and walking out of the home we built together? Fucking hell, I cried the entire time. Like, you know when you try to hold it in, but your throat just keeps tightening and your chest feels like it's going to explode? That was me. I tried to be strong, but at the end of the day, I had no choice. It was his house, and he made it clear. I had to leave. At first, I went to my best friend Mia's place. She acted all supportive and sympathetic, letting me crash on her couch. And for a second, I actually thought, okay, maybe I can get through this. Maybe I can take a breath and figure shit out. Sure, her place was far from work, meaning my commute was double what it used to be, but whatever. It's not like I had a million options, right? I had no savings, no backup plan, nothing. My job was never about financial independence. I only kept it because it was flexible and gave me something to do. Jake always handled the bills, and I never had to worry about money. Now, I should have worried about money, because suddenly I had nothing. And you know what the worst part is? Everybody's on his side. I get it, okay? I know I fucked up. I know the joke was cruel. I know it hurt him. I know it's my fault. But damn, I didn't expect every single person to turn their backs on me. His family, our mutual friends, even my own fucking siblings are siding with him. Do you know how humiliating that is? To have your own blood tell you, yeah, you deserve this? But oh, you think that's bad? Wait until you hear about Mia. Mia, my so-called best friend, the same one who was talking shit about Jake behind his back all these years, pretending like she hated him. She was the one who told him about what I said at girls' night. She snitched on me. Let me repeat that. The one person I trusted, the one person I thought was in my corner, went behind my back and told Jake everything. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I found out she had been constantly messaging him. Not just messaging him, but flirting. Telling him she had always liked him. Telling him he deserved better. The fucking audacity. I didn't even find this out on my own, Jake told me. He sent me the screenshots. I stared at my phone, reading them over and over, thinking, there's no way this is real. But it was. And when I confronted Mia, she didn't even deny it. She just shrugged and said, well, you guys are getting divorced, so he's fair game. Fair fucking game. I lost it. We got into a huge fight. I screamed at her, she screamed back, and in the end, she kicked me out, like I was some stray dog she had taken pity on. And you know what? Fine. I didn't want to stay there anyway. So now, I'm in a motel. A fucking motel. It's miserable. It smells weird. The walls are thin. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I have no money for an apartment, and my paycheck barely covers anything. And to top it all off, I got served divorce papers. That's when it really hit me. This is over. This isn't a rough patch. This isn't something we're going to work through. Jake is done. There's no coming back from this. No amount of apologies, no amount of begging, no amount of therapy is going to fix this. And I fucking hate myself for it. I miss him. I miss us. I miss our life. I miss waking up next to him. I miss laughing with him. I miss feeling safe, knowing that no matter what, he had me. But I ruined it. And now? Now I'm stuck in this shitty motel crying my eyes out, showing up to work looking like a fucking wreck. My performance has tanked. My boss has already pulled me aside twice to ask if I'm okay. And what the hell am I supposed to say? Oh yeah, I destroyed my marriage by making fun of my husband's dick size. But thanks for checking in. I've blocked Mia on everything. She's dead to me. The only small comfort I have is that a few of our friends, not hers, told me they think what she did was even worse than what I did. At least I was just a dumbass making a cruel joke. Mia went behind my back and actively tried to take my husband. So yeah, I might have been a shitty wife, but at least I wasn't that kind of snake. I don't even know what to do anymore. I feel lost. I don't expect sympathy. I know I don't deserve it, but I just needed to let this out. Update. Hello, Reddit. It's been a while. Honestly, I didn't even think I'd come back here, but I chose to check my DMs and saw people actually asking for an update. I don't know why that surprised me, but it did. I guess I figured people would have just moved on by now, the way life moves on, whether you're ready or not. I wish I had some groundbreaking update to give, but I really don't. I wish I could say things have gotten better, but they haven't. I'm still miserable. Fucking miserable. The divorce? Finalized. Jake and I? No longer married. Has it hit me yet? I don't even know. It's like I'm stuck in this weird in-between space where I know it's over. I know he's gone, but my brain just refuses to accept it. Like I'm still waiting to wake up and realize this was just some long, cruel joke. But it's not. He's gone. And I'm not handling it well. If I'm being honest, I developed a bit of a drinking problem. Okay, more than a bit. I drink, I cry, I text him, I call him, I beg him to take me back. Every single time. I tell myself I won't do it again, that I'll have self-control. But the moment I get a little too deep in a bottle, all my pride goes out the fucking window. It's humiliating, but at least I can admit that, right? Progress? Maybe? Don't judge me. I'm trying. It just still feels unreal. Like 1 minute I had this life, this husband, this home, and then, boom, all gone. And I was just left standing there, watching it all fall apart like I was some outsider in my own life. It's hard to explain, but nothing feels real anymore. It's like I'm existing, but not really living, if that makes sense. Every day is the same cycle. Work, come home, be miserable, rinse, repeat. I don't know how to move on. I don't know how to feel better. I just don't know how. I guess if there's one small win, it's that I'm no longer in that god-awful motel. Took me long enough, but I finally managed to scrape together enough paychecks to get myself into a dingy little studio apartment. It's tiny, weird as hell, and has the smell I cannot place no matter how hard I try. Seriously, what is that? But hey, at least I'm not homeless. At least I have a roof over my head. Small victories. I'm also trying to job hunt. Now that I actually have to take care of myself, I need something better than the shitty, low-paying job I settled for when I was with Jake. I need something that actually pays well enough for me to not just survive, but maybe, someday, actually live comfortably. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm working on it. As for Mia? Yeah, still not talking to that fucking snake. That bridge is burned. No regrets. And Jake? Well, he's not taking me back. No matter how many drunk messages I send, no matter how many times I say I'm sorry, I know it. Deep down, I know it. Doesn't make it hurt any less, though. I really wish I had something more exciting to say, something positive or maybe even dramatic to tell you all, but I don't. My life is just this endless loop of loneliness and regret, and I miss my ex-husband so much it physically hurts. So yeah, that's it.